Hey Rich, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey Hugo, how are you, buddy? Good to see you again.
I'm doing well. I'm really glad that you joined me and Destino today. I really wanted to cover what it is to be on the camera department for a TV show. So I would love to hear your name and what you do.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. Hugo, it's good to be part of this. I really appreciate the opportunity to do it. So
Absolutely.
my name is Richard Esquivel. I'm a locally union Dolly grip, and I specifically work on sitcoms. And I believe that's where I met you on sitcoms.
Yeah, we met on the show Mike and Molly
Dolly.
years back,
Yeah.
and that is a traditional multi-camera show. What
hmm
is it like for you, for example, on our shooting day, which is a day four and a day five?
So I basically only there on the 2 days of the when we shoot.
Mhm.
For me, depending on the show, could be a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. The first day would be where we do the scenes. We pre-shoot the scenes that they're going to show in front of the audience, and then any kind of special shots that they have to do that they can't do in front of the audience. And then Friday night or Tuesday, depending on the show, they'll have the audience to come in. We'll rehearse. We'll do a run through of the whole show in front of the producers so they can tweak it and put it however they want it to come out. And then we'll take a lunch and then come back and shoot the show and then do it for the audience. And it's live and there's a lot of laughing and music and it's a whole lot of fun.
How many people are in your department specifically?
So I would be considered a grip. That's the department I'm in. I just work specifically on the sitcoms with the camera crew a lot. So I would be hired by the operator actually, which is traditionally not how it goes as a grip. You know, on regular grip shows like episodics or even movies,
Uh-huh.
you would be hired by the key grip or the grip crew. But in sitcoms, what we do specifically, it's different. I'm hired by the operator in the camera department. So yeah, basically, I just kind of work specifically with the operator, and then we have the focus puller, and we organize and we talk about the shots when we set them out there, and then we have the color coordinator that'll come and he'll give us his notes and kind of what they want. You know, I work specifically a lot on the master cameras, which would be considered B or C. So my lenses are a lot wider. So
Okay.
it's basically like if you're watching a show or a TV and you see the camera moving and these big establishing shots, that's basically the camera on a dolly, and I'm pushing that dolly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are the other people that you collaborate with outside of the operator?
Specifically for when we're doing the job, it's I'm only talking to the operator MAC, but like I said, the camera coordinator will come in and he'll give us notes that are based the director wants. They want
Okay.
specific shots. An editor will cut into a certain way, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then you talk to Tracy, who's our friend of ours as well, and she does cuts live in front of the audience, so she knows by picking, you know, based on seeing the rehearsals, what shots to take, and I just have to make sure when I'm doing my job specifically to go off the cues from the actors, or I get line cues very often, or just kind of follow and see, paying attention. That's really the key.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, great. Yeah. So we also worked on the show Frasier.
Frazier, yeah.
So how can you compare a show like Mike and Molly, which is specifically Chuck Lorre brand, to a show like Frasier? What's the differences?
It's interesting. I thought a lot of working on shows that are different showrunners, like Chuck Lorre, for instance, and I don't remember who the showrunner was on Frasier, but it's just vibe and energy in the whole crew and how everybody kind of reacts. And a lot of times they're very similar in a sense that we work with the same people a lot of times because on sitcoms specifically,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's not a lot of people. You know, we're a very tight knit community, so you'd be hard pressed to walk on a stage and not know somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens all the time. I see you all the time. It seems like everywhere I go. You know, at work. And yeah, so like on a big show like a Chuck Lorre show, you
Mm.
know, I mean, there's definitely you have to be on your A game and you know really focus on what you're doing. And but you're there because you're one of the best. You know, and then everyone's super cool, and then you get to a point where like you kind of like get to nobody and you start to relax and it becomes like a family, you know? And
Yeah.
that's the difference is like the family on one show is not the same kind of family in another show, you know?
Sure.
So since I like as a dolly grip only get 2 days per show, I get to work on different shows, you know, to fill out my week.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun that way because like you get to be in different situations and stuff like that. And I really enjoy that part of it a lot, getting to work with different people and being part of different circles. And, you know, it's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Every production works their
Hmm.
own way, just the way that they like things to be done, and we show up to like coordinate with them and make sure we deliver what they expect from us.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's true. With Mike and Molly, I spent a lot of years there
Hmm.
with you guys, so it really did feel like a really close family because we spent so many hours together, and then everybody was just so welcoming there. And yeah, I think there's a lot of differences as far as just how you're able to bring your A game to every show.
To touch on what you're saying, a part of like what I do, which I really like, is I'm at the final product of it, like filming the camera's rolling, you're burning film, or your chip is rolling or whatever.
Mhm.
So I get to really kind of be in this zone of really focus. And in those situations, I like to look around at the set and realize like, man, these guys did a lot of work to make it look super realistic and period on period. You know, like I work in another show that's
Mhm.
based on the 90s. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like it's a trip to see like old phones with the antenna and and then you print these graphics with the prices from them. You know, it's a trip, man. Sometimes you get really drawn into it and you're like, wow, I'm really in a time machine capsule, especially in a job like mine, because when the camera's rolling, you really have to focus. You can't be distracted or at all because time is money, man. And when that camera's rolling, they're burning cash. And if you make a mistake, no one likes to lose money. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I totally understand. That's why same as you, I always appreciate the layers of building each show and getting the identity of the show going and also being able to mesh with all the crews and the
Yeah.
team. So yeah, it's one of the best parts of seeing like when you start to see the final product and you start to see all of you guys
Yeah.
and your crew come in to start actually filming what we've been working on for the past couple days.
Yeah.
We also did a show that actually filmed outside of those stages, and we would film in the back lot a lot, which was
Uh-huh.
How I Met Your Father
Father.
for Hulu.
Yeah.
How do you compare a show that goes outside of the stages and films outdoors? What is that like?
Okay, so when it comes to situations where we take it outside or they call remote,
Mhm.
you know, there's definitely an element of like single camera work that goes there because a lot of times I'll go on a piece of dolly track or there could be an arm, a jib arm or something like that. And in my experience, because I came from single camera TV, I worked on a TV show called CSI New York for like 9 years before I started to work on sitcoms.
Yeah,
And my first sitcom was uh, Hot in Cleveland, actually.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was like 2011 or something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And from there, I worked my way into working sitcoms, you know, trying to meet the right people and stuff like that. But as far as working on a show like that, it's pretty traditional as far as we had the dollies and we did our cues and stuff. But when we go outside, you know, there was difference. There was more atmosphere. There was more set. You know, the shots are more structured, and that's where like laying the track and putting the dolly on the track and stuff and doing these moves becomes more cinematic, I imagine, especially for these bigger, wider shots.
Yeah.
So having the experience of working on single camera or even a couple of features back in the day, it really carries through in that experience. But as far as the other way around, you know, sitcoms on single cameras, I mean, unless you have that experience, it really doesn't translate that way, you know, because it's a different genre altogether.
Well, I mean, we met back in 2014
Mm-hmm.
on our show together. But
Right.
how did you get started?
Well, I got started, let's see, man. Well, it was interesting because when I was a little kid, I used to like to go to movies.
Mhm.
And I remember LA Times used to put these like advertisements before the films. You know, there was one with a prop master or whatever. And there's this one that I remember was very specific to me. It made an impression on me.
Yeah.
It was like a grip standing in the rain on the back of a grip truck. And he was just like, oh, man. And I was probably, I don't know, like 10, 11 years old, man. I'm like, man, I want to do that one day, right? So I don't know. And it just as I went through life, stuff like that, meeting the people and it just kind of fell into it. I got an opportunity to like work at something called a rental house. Now we're talking about early 90s at this point for
Oh,
me. And in these places, I was able to meet crews that would come in and out and rent gear
yeah.
and able to build relationships with these people and give me an opportunity. So basically, that's how it boils down to, man. It's just meeting somebody that's willing to give you that chance. You know what I mean? And then what are you going to do with that chance? You know what I mean? Are you going to step up and, you know, learn and listen, pay attention? Because you'll find like as you come up and over time, you realize that everyone is really friendly.
Right.
And if you're cool, it's better because that'll take you further than if like you know what you're doing. Because people will take you with you if they like you, they want to hang out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if you got good work ethic, you'll realize that opportunity, and then you'll start to learn and pick up tricks and habits, and
Uh,
and as your confidence grows, and you start to realize things, you start to pick up little tricks and mix and act like that to stand out, and then that's how you get like, oh, okay, I remember Hugo. That guy was cool, man. The guy was always there. He was always paying attention. Oh, I remember Rich, man. That guy was always there. He was cool, And it's kind of word by mouth kind of thing, And then you attach yourself to a crew, and you just kind of travel around, and because we're freelance, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, to add on that, for me, it was I think I was 10 years old myself, and I we did the Universal Studios tram ride.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, damn, where are they all going? Like I
Yeah.
want to do that one day. And that's kind of where like I know I just kind of kept that memory, core memory. And
Yeah.
I just I just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It's,
like you
it's,
said, sorry, like you said, I definitely met different crews along the way,
mm,
and those that really gravitated to my work and that enjoyed collaborating with me were the ones that always called back and always said, "Hey,
mhm. Yeah.
we have a new project. We have this going on. Are you available?" So I've just been very fortunate to be able to meet different, for me, production designers and to be able to collaborate with them on their TV shows.
I think it's a little more than luck, buddy. You're really, really good at what you do.
Thank
Yeah.
you, brother.
Yeah. But I want to touch back on what you're saying. After 20 years of like you said, driving a tram or whatever, just
Yeah.
walking onto the lot, dude. Even now, I look back and I'm like, this is so cool, dude. I'm walking onto Universal.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. I'm walking right onto Warner Brothers, just walking to work. And you see the tram going by, and you're just like, that's cool, man. I don't know. It still gets me like that to this day after 20 some years. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. I mean, every time the gates lift when I show up to the,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I need. That's me. But with that being said, if you were able to do this all over again, like in these times, like what advice would you give to those that want to join your department?
These times, huh?
Yeah.
Well, these times seem to be a little lean, so you definitely going to have to want it. You know what I mean? And really, you know, develop a work ethic in a way that people are going to want to collaborate with you. They can trust you. You can build those friendships because essentially, that's what you're doing, man. Those friendships and those connections that you make are what's going to carry you through. And if you make good connections and friends with people that are going to move up and take you with them,
Mhm.
that's kind of what you want, right? That's in the same thing. You can refer people, you make friends along the way, and essentially, as your friends and your peers come up, and over the years, you will too. And that's kind of how you measure your success. It's like where you are from where you started. You
Right.
really have to look back sometime, like, hey, where was I 10 years ago? Where was I 20 years ago? Am I doing better? Am I happier? You know what I mean? Am I satisfied with my job? And if you can say yes to those things, then you're in the right place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I mean, the first step is just joining a project.
Mhm.
Even if it's not paid, I mean, I think
Yeah.
you take a lot from just being there and being able to collaborate with that team and take that with you.
Mhm.
I know it's not easy for everybody to be able to take jobs like that, but if you can, I mean, and you're just starting out, you do have to take that under consideration.
You do. I did many, many years of just kind of like low freebie, low budget, $100 a day kind of things, and that's my point. These are the people that will remember that, and they'll get a better job. They'll bring you with you, stuff like that, or you get a better job, and so on and so on. And as the generations come up, eventually you and I are going to be the old guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
So,
know. I mean, I always remember starting out hearing all you guys, or not
yeah,
you guys,
dude.
but hearing people saying about the good old days, and now here
Yeah.
I am talking with you about the good old days.
Dude. And you know what? Honestly, I gotta say, like, personally, I feel really lucky
Uh,
that in the generation that I came in, because the guys that are like our mentors now are like, they did all the awesome shows, man.
yeah,
The Will and Graces, the Cheers, the Jimmy Bro stuff. We've done a bunch of Jimmy Bro pilots and shows like that. So to hear these guys' stories and talk about how it was, because it's very different now, as technology comes in and different things happens, and the climate changes or whatever because of money and strikes and stuff like that. You know, I feel that we're fortunate in a way that we get to work with these guys, and as they move on and retire and stuff, we get to carry those traditions.
That's right.
And tell the younger people coming up, you guys, hopefully, if we see you on set, hey, this is how we did it. This is how we, we did these things, and this is how we, have fun, and and it works, and that's the privilege that we have, I think, at our generation to be right in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Thank you, Rich. I really appreciate your conversation and
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
inviting us to hear about your stories.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was good to hear it too. Like, oh yeah, you know what? That was kind of cool. Right on, dude.